Crawford cares about his life. And with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo? What do Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight. And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No.
Be able to at least have something to work with. Then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, and I say a smart fight. I understand the money grab. I understand it's about the bag. Crawford ain't 26.
Right. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, you just heard legendary multi-division world champion, Hall of Fame iconic superstar, retired boxer, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins, he weighed in on the undefeated, pound for pound, best fighter in the world, 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, and reigning WBA, junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Terrence Bud Crawford, who is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot future Hall of Famer, right? Wanting to fight and is rumored to fight 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, former undisputed super middleweight world champion, still the reigning unified super middleweight world champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, superstar, considered the face and one of the cash cows in the sport of boxing, in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez is 62 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Terrence Crawford is 41 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. He is 37 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. So, Bernard Hopkins states, he misstated, as you heard, when he said Terrence Crawford has no leverage. He doesn't have size, arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez. That's incorrect, because Canelo Alvarez is actually about 5 foot, he's about 5'7", and Terrence Crawford is 5'8", okay? Terrence Crawford has a 4-inch arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez. So Bernard Hopkins says that Terrence Crawford is risking his life for a bag. Now, he retired 55 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 32 wins by way of knockout. One time in his career, he was knocked out. Stood 6'1" with a 75-inch arm reach, right? Now, Bernard Hopkins says that, as you heard, that Terrence Crawford is doing all this. It's a money grab. I understand the money grab, risking your life. He cares about his life, so on and so forth. Now, I just want you guys to understand. Bernard Hopkins, he jumped from 60, okay, when he lost in December of 2005 to Jermaine Taylor. He went from 160. He was the reigning middleweight undisputed champion. He lost to Jermaine Taylor for the second time. He jumped up to 175 to challenge the Magic Man, Antonio Tarver, who had knocked out Roy Jones Jr. And Antonio Tarver was fighting at 175. And everybody said Bernard Hopkins is biting off more than he can chew. Well, the last time I checked, now I will say Bernard Hopkins reigned at middleweight, 160. So he was at 160 for a while. But he jumped up 15 pounds to challenge Antonio Tarver. Roy Jones jumped up from 175 to 200 pounds to heavyweight and beat John Ruiz, right? Now, I understand people going to make the argument the level of competition is not the same. But one hit, one punch from a guy that big it's still a money grab. It's an opportunity to create history, and that you risking your life. They are professional boxers and world champions. Tarver was a world champion, and John Ruiz was a world champion. So they were risking their life. Sugar Ray Robinson did it, right? Canelo Alvarez, himself, he jumped from 160 to 175 after he beat Gennady Golovkin and Danny Jacobs. He jumped from 160 to 175 to fight Sergey Kovalev, who was a world champion, the Crusher, and had already taken somebody's life in the ring. So he was risking his life for a bag. Now, you can say Kovalev wasn't a cash cow like Canelo, but it heightened his profile to get more money in the future that he accomplished, even jumping from 160 to 175 and beating Sergey Kovalev. That heightened his profile, that made him a bigger, it increased his status, which means he got more money in the future. So he got it for the bag. It was an investment. Same with Bernard Hopkins, same with Roy Jones. It was also being great, but they was trying to accomplish something that boosted their profile as well. The last time I checked, Terrence Crawford jumping from 154 to 168 is only 14 pounds. It's not like he didn't stop at 154 and become a world champion. He beat Israel Madrimov for the belt. And then he jumped to 154. Now he's going to 168. Now, you got to look at Bernard Hopkins, because people say Terrence Crawford didn't look good against Israel Madrimov. Well, Bernard Hopkins lost back-to-back to Jermaine Taylor before fighting Tarver. Canelo Alvarez arguably lost to Triple G and Danny Jacobs. He didn't look great in those fights. He didn't dominate those fights. He didn't knock them out before he went up before Sergey Kovalev and was losing to Sergey Kovalev. And people questioned